Hello, Dune Lady here. Not done talking about Dune yet for tonight. Maybe the West Coasters will be able to tune in and see what I'm putting out there. Um, Continuing to talk about the Harkonnens, I just had a thought that was pretty interesting. Um, I think it shows the intelligence level of Phaedra in comparison with Beast Raban. He is no longer referring to the Fremen as vermin, calling them rats. He starts saying that there is a demon in the desert out there, referring to Muad'Dib, which I really love. I think that this touches on something that we get into in the future novels. So it was a really cool nod to what's going on and shows the power of Muad'Dib. He is not hiding in the shadows. He is out there becoming a godlike figure to these people, and Feyd-Rautha sees that this needs to be stomped out immediately, and he is very serious about taking him on. Um, Next here, I have not talked about Gurney Halleck yet. I do think that he probably showed up a little bit earlier than when I'm talking about him, but this is, uh, I've been going off the rails a little bit with my little bit of talking points that I had, so forgive me if I'm a little bit out of order. But during an attack on a spice harvester, um, we see Gurney Halleck has become a smuggler, which is very interesting because he is affiliated with the Atreides, so he has those traits like integrity, honor, and such. So this is very out of character for him, but he's doing what he has to do to undermine the Harkonnens, steal from them, and he wants to work his way up so that he can exact his revenge on them for what they did to his family and his duke, which is also in alignment with the characteristics of the Atreides, loyalty and honor and such. So we see them in a fight. The Fremen at that point, I don't think know that this is a smuggler. They're wanting to just destroy and disrupt the spice trade, because that is what has a hold of them and their people, their culture, and their world. They want to take back Arrakis. So they are fighting anybody who is what they feel is stealing from them. So they destroy this spice harvester. Um, Gurney is a very formidable fighter, so he fights back and he feels that something is off and he starts running at where the Fremen are, and he comes head to head with Paul. And immediately Paul recognizes him. And I think he says something that refers to him as old man, and they're locked eyes, and neither of them has done violence to each other yet. And Paul takes off his mask and reveals himself. And Gurney is elated. And we have a meeting that happens in the books, which is very touching. And the words that Gurney says, calling him young pup, is taken directly from the text, which I love because so much that Denis did really was ripped right from the Dune property, Frank Herbert's novels. So he didn't have to come up with anything new to take us out of the immersion for the book readers. So they have this meeting. Paul calls off any violence against them. They're reunited. Gurney has his balisette, which is so cool. It's an instrument that we see, or that we read about in the books, that we have seen in David Lynch's version of Dune, and that we see again in Dune Part 2. So that is a really lovely touch that I'm sure a lot of people like to see. So there's a reunion, and we see right away that Gurney is on the same page as Jessica. He's like, take advantage of what these people are offering you. They're calling you God. Be a god. Lead them. Take revenge on the Harkonnens. They killed your father, and is trying to talk sense into Paul. And again, Paul is still fighting this tooth and nail. He does not want to be this religious leader. He is not a messiah. He wants to be arm in arm with the Fremen. He wants to love his woman, Chani. Who knows what's going to happen? Another detail that I noticed at this point is that Chani is wearing blue, which I'm not going to spoil, but we don't see any other Fremen wearing that. So at this point, we're kind of wondering, why does she keep tying this scarf on her? So maybe in the next film, we'll get the reasoning for that, or maybe they're just going to leave it up to the imagination, and we'll have to figure out why she is making this distinction different from the rest of the Fremen. I'll be back with more in a moment.